I'm so excited to meet new people. Now, Arina, hello, Arina. Are you there? Are you wonderful?
Oh, hello.
I love it when people do the finger thing. That adds mystery to the whole thing. Are you going well, my darling?
Will be.
You will be, although let's hope we can make that work. Oh, it's lovely to see you, my darling. And Jenny, you were there bright as a button in this fantastic coral with coral glasses. So Jenny, tell us about you, tell us about your thesis, tell us everything.
Oh gosh, I'll talk about my thesis. So I'm long-term educator in the top end, spending time in urban, rural, remote and very remote. And went up through school leadership into corporate and became quite frustrated when we had systemic data that made our Indigenous students look appalling. We missed the magic. So my thesis is around where do we find and what are the measures for success for your students. So in one respect, it's giving a little bit back to community. But it's working with some of our community elders around collecting the stories of success.
Jen, that's amazing.
I know.
And darling, in terms of a methodology, are you using storying or what's the methodology?
Look, it looks like it's going to be grounded theory, but you know what? Anything can happen on this adventure. I know, yeah. So I know my communities, I know my education sector, I know the corporate side. In terms of methodology, you know, that's my big learning area at the moment. Is this going to fit? But also, I'm working with community. So there's particular ways of doing and being in community that could be considered an Indigenous methodology. So lots of exploring and chatting and working out where to.
And look, Jen, obviously I'm completely obsessed by you already, and there could be some electronic stalking involved here. I'm very interested, and I don't know the answer to this, which shows to me this is a great research project, how grounded theory works iteratively in co-design with community. I'm very interested in that. Grounded theory is an interesting, it's never been my particular bag. I have enormous respect for it, but I'll be interested to see how it moves through colonialism, post-colonialism, decolonization. Oh, you're going to be stuck with me for a very long time.
And like that's a bad thing. And I probably have to just disclose to everyone, I've been a bit of a stalker of Tara. All of her wonderful vlogs. I ride my bike to uni, so I've been listening. She's been in my ears constantly. So I had a bit of a fangirl moment when she was actually on campus. So anyway, very grateful and great to be in this workshop this morning, Tara.
Jen, you are the best one. So this is only just sort of digital office hours, colleagues. I'm excited. Can I say, Jen, there's probably 10,000 men around the world who are disgusted by my dulcet tones, and the idea of me accompanying them on a bike ride is probably their worst nightmare. So I really...
They're lost.
They're lost. They're lost. But speaking of fantastic men, I see Edwin, Edwin, we should do this. Cheers, brother. Cheers, everybody. Whatever time zone you're in, coffee, tea. If there's anyone on show already, I wish you well. Edwin, how you going, brother? You going well? Do I get a hi? Oh, let's see. Have we got sound? Oh, mate, let's have a look. Shows you're fine from my end. Edwin, do you want to say hi? Oh, no.
I'll hear you.
We haven't got sound. Let's keep working on Edwin. That's fantastic. And Irina, we've already said hello to you. Do you want us to say hi and what's going on? Trust me, I won't normally be asking you this. We're just sort of meeting people. So Irina, how are you going and what's your vibe and what's your interest?
Good. I'm actually from the other part of the world. I'm from Boston.
Fantastic. Yeah. So tell us about you and Boston.
Yeah, I'm a cardiologist. I came from Romania to United States about 4 years ago. And I'm here as a postdoc. This is my job. But I'm also doing a PhD in my country in cardiovascular medicine with my professor. And you have inspired me through the years. Actually, for the last year when I discovered your blogs, which helped me to hopefully finish my thesis this year.
Well, Irina, I'm here for you completely. So all this digital office hours is about, I'm terribly excited about this. This is just making sure every week there is a portal that opens. So if anybody has questions or things they'd like to share or meet new people, if you're feeling a bit isolated and a bit weird, just pop in with a cup of coffee, a mineral water, or a Chardonnay, or a Cardi, as we'd say in my particular part of the world. Do you want a Cardi with your Cardi? Then please come in. So Irina, how are you feeling about the thesis? Can you see the end now?
No, not yet, but I need to write 3 articles this year as a first author, and today actually I'm so glad you are doing this, because I was in a mental blockage, and I know I have talent on writing. I've done a lot of things, but I just cannot keep myself doing it.
Right. Angel, what I think is happening, and again, we've got some fantastic writers on this call, so they'll help you as well. This is not about you, Irina. There's no doubt that the PhD by publication is a very, very complicated beast. As you know, I'm not the biggest fan of a PhD by publication. Private publication is different. Publication puts a lot of stress on people because it's all about the publications. And I would argue a thesis is so much more than publications. And also examining is different from refereeing. So that's why I think you're feeling a bit torn and twisted, because you've got multiple masters or multiple mistresses, and they're sort of doing different things. So firstly, know that what you're going through is logical and rational and completely understandable, okay? And so the advice I would give with the PhD by publication is always, just put the thesis away for a second, and that's hard to do, and just do the article like you would do an article, like all great medical scientists do. Just focus on, the evidential base, methodology, the outputs, the research, get the evidence right, and just crunch that through. And the thesis comes in those magical moments in the morning and the afternoon when you link those articles together. But what's happening at the moment, I think, is you're being pulled 2 ways, 2 different masters, and that's why you, as a great writer, you're having a few problems.
I also have an absent supervisor in my country. She just expects me to, without any, I don't want somebody to hold my hand. I just want a direction.
Yes, and look,
but I don't have that either. So
yeah, look,
that's why
I'm sure they are fantastic human beings, but the challenge we've got is all of us as supervisors come to it, and if we haven't had professional development, so we haven't actually gone beyond our individual experiences, we just repeat the stuff that we know. And of course, it may be experience, it may be a bad experience. So that's why professional development for all of us means we can improve every day. And Kate, do you want to say anything to Irina? Because obviously you've gone through many of those cascading issues. I saw the big breathe out there, Kate. What would you say to our Queen?
Keep going with Tara. I mean, I had in previous attempts at a PhD, absent supervisors, angry on Zoom calls. But I I have just finished, but Tara is going to send my thesis off to examiners soon, I hope. But everything is done. I could not have done this without Tara. No, I couldn't. I don't know if I would have recommenced a thesis, or it's a brand new thesis. It's completely different to the one I did or started at another university. Now mine is a PhD by prior publication, and I already had I've written hundreds of articles, but I had 23 peer-reviewed papers, and I used 11 of those towards the PhD by prior publication. But I would not have even known that type of PhD existed if Tara hadn't told me. Yeah. And I would not have known how to put it together without Tara's advice. But without Tara's constant weekly encouraging Zoom sessions. I'm actually starting to relax now, even though the thesis
hasn't quite gone out yet. But Kate, darling, what advice would you offer to Irena? Because you are an experienced writer, and Irena, Kate works in nursing and nursing and health related issues. So there is a convergence with the work you're doing. Kate, you've written hundreds of articles. Any advice you'd offer to try and get Irena through this quite difficult, pressurized environment?
I don't drink, so I don't know if you drink, if that helps. Some people are laughing.
Yeah, no, it's vodka. Vodka is the cause of most problems in culture. I agree with you, Kate. Absolutely, mate.
What can I say? You do need somebody as stable and as regular as Tara. And when I say regular, I don't mean...
It'll be like a bowel movement. I'm regular. I'm putting that on a t-shirt. Regular like a bowel movement.
Somebody who's there every week. She said she's going to log on at 9 o'clock in the morning. She logs on at 9. She's been my only supervisor for this PhD by prior publication, and I think one supervisor is brilliant. That's all I've needed. But constant encouragement, because I've shed a bucket load of tears doing this, and I might cry now, but I won't anymore. So what can I say? Can you have Tara as a co-supervisor?
Well, she doesn't even need to do that. Irena, you can just pop in at 9 o'clock every Friday morning. Just say hi to everybody. You've got a whole family of new people and friends around you now. So you're great. We will look after you. We will. So just even if you pop in for 10 minutes, we can just check in on you and see how you're going. But I think that's what's happened to you, darling. I've seen it so often in the PhD by publication that you're just torn between the thesis and the pubs. So let's just focus on getting the 3 through and just out. No judgment. So put them out into the refereeing universe. Know that reviewer 2 is a cow. But just get them out there and get them in the process. And then once the 3 are out in the universe, we can return to the thesis and do the bridging work.
I mean, one day I might be able to help people, because I haven't told you, Tara.
Oh, Edwin, we've got a bit of a phone issue, brother. We might just, I see you're in twice because one Edwin's not enough. We might need to just mute one of those, Edwin. We'll come straight back to you, brother. Go, Kate.
About a month ago, I started a new course with capstone editing, because I wanted to become an editor for people writing theses. And this is so hard. I had no idea there were so many different things in English grammar that I didn't know. And I thought I was quite a good writer, but no, I know nothing.
You know everything. That's
no,
and
this is hard.
And it is hard. And I think that's a great point, Kate. Irena, darling, just know, what's my line? 1% of the world's population have a PhD. You're in the 1%. If it was easy, everybody would have it.
Yes.
Yeah, not yet, but I know I deserve that, because I worked a lot, and
I can see that.
Not here by accident.
Angel, I can see that, and I can see the burden of the work on your shoulders. Beautiful. I think we all can. Angel, you're doing great. You're doing fantastically, and we're here to support you. So just know, every Friday morning, these wonderful people, we're going to meet them all this morning, and you come in as you need, okay? You're not on your own. I promise you, you're not on your own, and we'll check in all the time to make sure that you're well, okay?
And one other thing, if you have a best buddy who's also doing a PhD, as I have had, my beautiful friend Eunice, we've been besties for years, and her PhD has already been submitted, but we've been on the phone to each other every day for years and years and years, and that's been really helpful.
I agree. So, Irena, we'll find some BFFs for you in here as well, so you've got us forever. Now, just a couple more people we should introduce. Lovely Hong, hello. How are you, my darling? Oh, I see you've Madonna Vogued up. Oh, you've got the whole Vogue microphone. Edwin's looking like he's running his own talk show, but you've got a Madonna Vogue microphone. How are you, my angel?
Hello, Tara. Hello, everyone. Actually, I have received some of your emails and they are so inspiring and caring. That's why I think I should come to just say hello.
Well, it's lovely to see you. So tell us about you. I'm loving everyone else loving the sort of baby pink color. That's gorgeous. Tell us about you and tell us about
young.
I know she's too young. Yes,
Not really young. I finished my PhD. I submitted in December last year, and still waiting for the results, waiting for the examiner feedback. So more than 6 months something. And you know, waiting is challenging and not easy at all.
Yeah, so Hong, what I'll do is I believe you know the Dean of Graduate Studies very well at CDU. And so she will, at the conclusion of the 2 hours of live meetings this morning, go and find out what is happening with a certain fantastic candidate. So yes, look, we'll get it a lot shorter than that for you. I'll find out what's happened. And if it makes you feel any better, my PhD took 12 months to examine. And
oh my God.
My research, but remember this is when dinosaurs roamed the earth, darling. And my master's took 18 months, so long, like one of the examiners nearly died. So it's always important that we do it quickly because, like, you know, people die. So I'll check and make sure you're handling the stress well, though. What have you done during the 6 months?
I started working for CDU for 1.5 years as a lecturer. So I started my job here last year. I'm teaching inclusion units. So sort of preparing pre-service teachers to teach for social justice and inclusive education. So working with children with additional needs, those with disabilities or those coming from a different background. So yeah, it's my job.
Well, can I say it's also a gift, and how lucky is CDU to have you? How lucky are we all to
Yeah, and I feel grateful for being offered the opportunity to.
Well, we need you to be Vice Chancellor of several universities in this country. So I can see that happening. Colleagues, can you see that happening reasonably quickly? You are fantastic. So I'll find out what's happening with these.
Yeah, thank you, please.
Oh my goodness me, that's unbelievable. And look, Jane, we haven't met, and then we'll go to the wonderful Maeve. And Mary's in. Oh, great. Jane, do you want to say hi? I saw you said hi in the chat. Do you want to just do a sort of King Charles wave thing?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jane from Canberra University. I've been following Tara video forever, and your outrider is the best video whatsoever because I'm doing research on women leadership in Vietnam, and my participant conceptualize their career journey in the river, in water. So it's totally different with the online journey. I find so fascinating, and people, when hearing about the ideas, love it because in the water we have much more challenges than in the online one. I'm having difficulties of writing them down because I want to keep my participant words, which are all the expression in Vietnamese. If I translate that into English, it will lose all of that meaning. If I'm translate in the academic way, so it will come back to the glass ceiling, not the river. So yeah, I'm doing my best to how to write that in the water terms without too much trouble with academic writing. Thanks.
Well, can I say, Jane, you've sort of changed my life this morning. Women in leadership is a really complicated, interesting area. I've done some work on it for the last 25 years, and the metaphors, if you said, are bonkers. It's like, you know, the glass ceiling. My personal favorite is the glass cliff. What was the one I read last week? The glass labyrinth. I think water is much more interesting. But Jane, what I want to talk about with you, and this, I've seen this happen so often, and the nature of the digital doctorate and digital presentation of material means that this could be your moment, because the notion of translation, did you get your respondents' material sonically via recording, or was it written as a transcript?
Both. I have both the sound and the transcript.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't have to lose anything. My argument would be that certainly all those materials should be in appendices for examiners to hear and for examiners to see, so that nothing is lost in the translation. And in fact, the translation methodology becomes part of the thesis in and of itself, so that it's not some form of, I think a lot of the leadership literature, as you know, comes from the United States, and it tends to colonize basically every other model of leadership that exists. So linguistically, if we can find ways to ensure that your water metaphor trope theory not only works well nested with your respondents, but moves beyond that, wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh, thank you so much. I'm doing my best. I try.
Oh, you're fat. Well, but I think you can present the lot. Don't think you've got to present one version of that testimony. I would present it in multiple languages and multiple modes. I would present the sonic material too. Oh,
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're amazing. Now we've got, can I just check, because Edwin's in, I adore Edwin. Now he's got two things going. Do you want to just say hi on one of them, Edwin?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Yay, I'm here. I've been following you for quite a while, Tara, and and I've finished my PhD and I got my results, and yay, Dr. Edwin Pascoe. So
congratulations.
I'm very excited, and I've come to this writing because writing, like I had fantastic supervisors. I got a third supervisor who was good at writing, and she was brilliant in terms of turning the whole thing around, and very simplistic in her approach. And but yes, writing is one of my fearful things, and I've been invited to write a chapter in a book. I'm doing doctoral research, and it was like, it's about my journey really, to do it. It's like, oh my goodness. So I'm writing these things, and I've written the same page probably about 20 times. I'm thinking, it's not good enough. But the same, but the same, the same anxieties but it's all about writing. The research itself was actually quite easy for me, and but it's obviously the writing journey, which is what this is all about, communicating it across. And so that's why I'm here today.
Well, Edwin, what I'd say to you, mate, there's good strategies on that, and you're so loquacious. I thought we'd met or circulated at some point in the past.
Yeah.
I've seen you before. So when you're a bit stuck, often after the PhD is finished, you almost feel like you've run out of words, like all the words that you had in the universe in your lifetime have now been gone. And so I understand that you sort of go, what is my name? And I can't get it out. Edwin, what I'd suggest, and that has happened to me through a few emotional periods in my life, what I've done is I've spoken the argument, mate. So I've got out a recorder or got out a phone, and you have it on a bit of paper, you go, what is the point of this chapter? What am I trying to do in this chapter? And you know what, just pretend you're talking to me. We may do this one of these weeks. If you want to do it next week, we can do it next week, whereby you talk to me, you talk there and record it. And then what you do, mate, is you put your headphones on and you just simply type up what you've said. Now, what that does is if there's any sort of writer's block there, the sonic leads the hand, right?
So
then you're free. And remember, the best writers are dreadful writers, but they're great editors. So just slam the words down. And of course, you're a great talker. So talk the argument, then transcribe your own stuff down. And that might create the break and the movement for you to move forward.
Okay, well, thank you for offering that. That's quite lovely of you. Yeah.
Can you try that though? Can you try that this week, mate? Just try it.
I will. Yeah.
And can you report back to us how it's gone?
Yeah. I'll do that. Exactly. Yeah.
And you also have to tell us what the book is, because we'd all like to read the book now. So this is great.
Well, it's cool. Well, this is through Victoria University, and they're doing a book called Doing Doctoral Research, which is the name of it. And it's all these narratives of all these PhD students, and we're doing different angles, and I'm looking at a bit of the methodology, and the journey that I went on, you know, because my topic was on gay men and type 2 diabetes, and all that happened during marriage equality, during, you know, all these political type issues that were out there. And of course, I had to maintain my sort of try not be biased, reflexivity, all that type of stuff. And I guess it was talking about how I achieved that. Because I did have to have my supervisors, because for a bit of a time I was like pro-gay people, yeah, they're lovely and all that type of stuff. But then I had to step back a bit and say, well, you know, I need to look at what was said and, you know, how am I interpreting this? And so, yeah.
Edwin, you are amazing and incredibly courageous. And we've got a great student, the wonderful Amanda, who's going to be watching this a bit on digital delay, like many colleagues are. She at this point is working through standpoint theory and positionality theory to really work through her relationship with data sets. So I think what you just said there is incredibly helpful, and your courage in the engagement in such a magnificent research topic, but also having the courage to be data driven and evidential driven while holding your space, I think is incredibly inspirational.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah.
You're amazing. Well, you're stuck with us now. This is fantastic. And look, I see a few new people that have joined us. James has joined us as well. Good. This is amazing. James, you're muted and we can't see you, so you're a man of mystery. James, would you like to remain a man of mystery, or would you like to say hello? I'm assuming he's a man of mystery. Maeve, just make sure James is all right. Make sure he's with us. And it's like, blink twice, James, blink twice. Now, I'm going to try and pronounce this beautiful name, Pritaka. Is Pritaka there? And again, we've got no sound and no vision. Pritaka, do you want to just say hi? No? Good on you, mate. James, how are you? James, you with us? Pritaka's not joining us, but Mary is. So, Mary, can you demute? Because I know you were going to come this week. How are you, Mary?
Yes, I'm going well, thank you, Tara. I've got confirmed last week after 9 months in my master's, my MPhil. So I've got the go-ahead to do it. I'm now doing ethics, applying for ethics approval. One thing that I have taken up to in the last week, so it's now up to 10 days, 12 days writing,
yes,
is your hint of doing 30, just give you 30 minutes in the morning. And so I'm just getting up a little bit early. I'm not a 2 a.m. riser like you. I couldn't do that. I'm sorry.
It just kills lives. Don't worry about it.
I certainly do wake around 6 or 6:30. So now I'm getting up and doing half an hour's writing. And it has a really very strong psychological effect, because I had a huge battle to get confirmed. It took me 14 months to find a university where I could do my research, 9 months to get confirmed at the university that said they were happy for me to do the research. It's difficult research and challenging, and I think I have seen some problems with how colonised universities are, because basically I'm researching a massacre in Western Australia, a colonial massacre. And so there's just been this kind of odd sort of resistance to me actually doing the research. But now I'm confirmed, you suddenly have this burden. It's like, well, right, actually, I've got to come up with a thesis now.
Yes.
And so then your days start becoming this sort of like, you're doing various things. You go in, you talk to people, you read books, doing lit reviews, various stuff. Got to do a lot of background research, which I have been doing in the time of getting my research up anyway. But you suddenly think, oh, I've got to come up with all these words, The psychological effect of actually getting up and doing half an hour's writing in the morning is you start the day thinking, yep, I've had a win already. I've done 250 words. And I actually calculated it out. I thought, what's 250 words a day in a year? It's 91,000 words.
And that's your thesis.
That's your thesis. So it just takes this burden off immediately. And so I just have this thing, okay, it is an immutable rule that I will get up and I will give half an hour to write my writing. And other very interesting thing about this space is that psychologically, when you're sitting there writing for that half an hour in the morning, just half an hour a day sounds like a really small amount. But psychologically, you're in the same situation. I'm sitting up in bed with my laptop. It's dark. So to me, there's actually no break in time between the days. And so the thought flow is continuing. So it's not interrupting my writing by just doing half an hour every day. The thought flow is continuing.
Yeah.
And the other hint that you gave is have your laptop ready. So you just pick up your laptop, open it up, everything's open.
Yeah.
So I've got all my PDFs that I'm reading for the article I'm writing, or this bit of writing I'm doing. I don't know where it's going to end up. I've got the document open. I've got EndNote open. I don't have to fiddle around and find anything. I'm just ready to go. And so the flow of writing is going quite well. Now, it's probably very bad writing, and I'll definitely need to do Tara's 10 edits to fix it up at the end. But that's fine. I'm getting the words down. So I'm finding it very, very interesting and very quick tip to actually increase my writing.
That changes your life. And as you've said, Mary, it does all sorts of things to your brain because you get up and you write and it's productive. Also, you must be finding too, why I love it, and it means my writing's done before the working day, is my brain clearly is thinking about what I'm going to write while I'm asleep. So when I awake, all sorts of connections that I went to bed with, because I'm writing a piece with Kate and Eunice at the moment, we're just about finished it. And overnight, my brain's been going, how does this link with this? Wake up, lift the laptop lid up, and I've got the connection. So your brain it's almost like a muscle, and it's getting ready. It knows it has to do some work and thinking about it overnight. So Edwin, I wonder if there's anything there hasn't Mary made the case there about the value of that? Any possibility of that maybe being a goer, Edwin?
Yes, well, I think daily writing and that half hour, as I couldn't do your I was thinking about this morning, the 2 o'clock thing. I thought you're a crazy lady, but a brilliant lady. But
I'm mad.
yes, I have to do this actually because of course this is only one of my projects, you know, but yes, agreed.
And again, it's not necessarily even getting up half an hour early. It's simply going, well, I get up at this time, have the tea or the coffee ready, have the computer ready, and just reorganize your day so the writing's first.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. We'll keep in touch with Edwin, see what happens. But look, wonderful Mary got through with her COC, and it's a big moment. And we probably should all celebrate Queen Maeve. So you haven't met wonderful Maeve yet. She'll be our regular person in Right Club every single week, which we'll be going to shortly. But Right Club. So Maeve is a legend. You reckon your life's difficult. Maeve has not only me as a supervisor, but the other very attractive man. We've got attractive men on this call, but there's a very attractive man called Jamie Quinton, who I know, I believe, through an accident of marriage, who has popped in. And so Maeve has both Jamie and I as supervisors, but Maeve has also yesterday really finished off her confirmation of cancer. So we need to congratulate Maeve. So how do you feel, Maeve, hearing Mary's commentary about that process?
Yes, I was partly not fully listening to Mary, I have to say, because I was also working with James to work out how we can get him to speak. So I was listening and not listening and typing and connecting at the same time. You
are a multitasker. But the notion of that colonial ambivalence, that you're doing a difficult topic, and you are too, Maeve, a challenging, difficult topic, and you know the process exists, but you feel like the system's pushing back.
Yes. Oh no, look, I feel fine. I have Paul. I feel really grateful because through you, we sound like a bit like the Tara cult at times, have to be careful. But through you, I did have 2 incredible independent assessors, and really, hi Kendria. I know sometimes you say, well, you did say this is going to save you a year, but I think actually the independent
assessors did much more than that. They definitely saved me a year. They offered really incredible constructive ideas about what to do next, and how to improve everything. So yeah, I'm really happy, and I'm very privileged to have both of you. It's great to have Jamie on the call.
Oh, look, it is. We'll quickly go to him. Then we'll go to gorgeous Kendra, who's come ready for business. I can see Kendra. She's got the hair, big hair, closer to God. That's amazing. You got the outfit. You got the papers. It's all happening. We'll come straight to Kendra, but I will do a quick wave to Jamie. Do you want to say good morning to everybody, because they think they're in trouble? Poor Jamie's married to me. How are you, Jamie, darling?
Hi, darling.
Hi,
everyone. Good afternoon from Aotearoa, New Zealand. Darling, I want to ask you, so a couple of people now in the chat, I've said that you can unmute them. They're struggling to unmute themselves. So you might want to go back to James and...
Yes, I will. I can ask to unmute. I'm going to hit one of those, you know, those ellipse 3
I'm pretty sure in Zoom, yeah, you can...
Remove report. I'm not going to report him, but put someone in the waiting room. God, that's like the naughty corner, isn't it? That's fantastic. I put them in, make host. I could make you a host, rename. I can ask to unmute by my screen, Jamie, but I'll check that, colleague. So don't worry, we'll get that sorted. But Jamie, darling, you're well, and how proud of Maeve are we?
Yeah, Mavelous.
Marvelous. Yeah. Fantastic, Jamie Dunn. Thank you for joining us on our first gig. So it's very exciting. But look at Kendra. Look how organised Kendra is. She's organised the drape. She's organised the plant. We've got notes. So Kendra, where are you at? What's the vibe for you at the moment, Queen Kendra?
Well, thank you for asking. I don't feel organised.
You look it.
Yeah, so because I don't feel organised, therefore I become organised. So, you know, it's a driver, you know. I'm at the beginning of my journey, and I've got to say that listening to your YouTubes, the old ones from Flinders, and your audiobook now, it's so helpful from a confidence point of view, because I feel like I'm drowning in stuff, you know, in information. And which I know is normal, but yeah, it's so I'm doing a creative PhD.
Yeah,
I haven't decided on my creative artifact, which is kind of making people a little bit scared, but because I have a foot in two camps, like I'm a visual artist, but also I'm a writer. Yeah, two camps.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I want to go, you know, I kind of want to go, like you take it from your audiobook, the multimodal aspect, like an exhibition with stories and artwork and, you know, and research. Do you know what I mean? So, but anyway, my research is a solid, unchangeable thing. I'm looking at the Ballarat Asylum, and because... You know, there's very little written about the Ballarat Asylum, but all the other asylums in Victoria get so much kudos. It's like, well, hang on a second. So, yeah, so it's very interesting.
So there's so much to say. Firstly, you found your gap. So what is that? So you've got a gap. If you've got a gap, mind the gap. You've got the gap. You've got a thesis. Thanks for playing. Boom. Now, Kendra, the other great and clever thing you're doing, and you've recognised the trick of the creative-led thesis is actually it starts with the ideas and the exegesis. It starts with the argument you're wanting to make, and then from there you make the multimodal choice about the best platform to configure that research going forward. So actually the idea that you start with, this is the artifact, you've actually got it backwards. So you're starting with the topic and the gap, and you go, you know what platform best serves filling that gap?
Yes, precisely, because I haven't also done all the archival research. So some stuff may or may not come up. So, you know, if I choose to tell a massive memoir or something and then find nothing, you know, or not a memoir necessarily, but you know what I mean, a fiction story based on archives, I've got nothing if there's nothing in the archives. So, yeah, so Totally reasonable, and thank you for that.
Oh, this is huge. I'm so excited. And can I say, I've got a feeling in my water, Kendra, got a feeling that an exhibition, a multimodal exhibition, may work incredibly well for the asylum. I just, in my head, I just got a weird feeling there that moving people through platforms and getting them to sit in sort of that third space, the Homi Baba space, sit in the discomfort, confronted by it, and have to sort of sit and stand in it.
Yes.
Without the answers.
Oh, jumping in. Oh my God, because I know Kendria well, I know her work well, I know her previous work. And even those sketches you've been drawing for your supervisors for meetings, because I said to you, you'll use them. Because I know how Tara thinks, and everything you do, even when you think it's an accident, in the end, that will end up brilliantly put in an appendix or wherever.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing.
Thanks, Maeve.
Oh, this is fantastic. Well, the idea that you two on the same call, I just feel so privileged. Unbelievable. And look, we should just do a quick hello to Gazal, my darling. Where's my GH? How are you, darling? Say hello, everybody. I can ask to unmute. I've just hit that button. How are you, sweetness?
Hello, I'm so excited we are in the same institution.
I'm so excited that we're in the same state or territory, darling. My goodness, sweetness. I can't tell you how happy I am to be working with you, sweetness. We didn't know when we first met all those years ago, did we, beautiful?
No. And just the work, the contribution you make to whole Australian higher degree research is just phenomenal. Oh, I have no idea how you have so much energy, and I just try to follow one snippet of your advice. And
no, Angel.
You are amazing, like
darling,
it's privilege to have you at TDU, and I'm sorry, I will be attending all of those and all the writing clubs. So sorry, I'm a bit of a stalker.
No, I love a good stalker, and I stalk you as well, so it's fine. I think if two people stalk each other and they do it consensually, it's not a problem. It's sort of friendship, and that's all right. But darling, you finished a thesis from the territory. Is there any advice you'd offer our colleagues in regional Australia? And a lot of our colleagues are in regional Australia.
What I was doing, I was just putting your YouTube videos on, like, just on repeat and watching, and then just writing at the same time. So it didn't feel as isolated. Then that writing club that we will have afterwards, that's definitely must attend for all. We will have HDR conference that is coming up. Please make friends there. And last year we had the biggest HDR conference. I think this year HDR conference is going to be amazing. It's 21st, 23rd of June.
Yes.
And yes, if you can make it, definitely present there. Definitely participate in 3-minute thesis. We have also visualized thesis or something like that coming up. Try to engage yourself as much as possible with the community life, but of course writing is first. Writing is the first priority. Everything else is the second. But it does help when you build the sense of community, and it does help with the Pomodoro sessions. Pomodoro sessions are probably the most important things.
That is fantastic. And you did such a great thesis.
Oh, thank you. And going forward as well. So this is all the struggles that we are experiencing. I did not understand. We had one early career and even mid-career researcher who came into our HDR sessions. And I thought, what are you doing here? You are grown up. We are here, babies. And you are grown up. You don't belong here. That's what I thought to myself when I first saw it. But then I realized the struggle is the same throughout. Really, it's not as if we PhD students experience one set of challenges, and going forward we will stop experiencing these challenges. No, this is
so well said. I mean, the system in so many ways has its knee on our throat all the time anyway, wherever you are, from people thinking they're inverted commas going to retire, right from our early career researchers. So it's a tough system to survive in, and if we're all together and talking honestly and with care and decency, then my goodness me, we can survive. Brilliant. You're amazing, darling.
You are amazing.
Oh, you're amazing. Paul, good evening. Is it 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., mate? Do you want to just say hello? Because I see you're having, so you've just met Kendra. So that's going to change both of your lives, I think. Paul, do you want to say hi, or are you like in bed? Are you all right, Paul?
Hey, yeah, I'm good. It is middle of the night, so I won't say too much to not wake up my lovely family, but hi to all.
Oh, fantastic. And Paul, darling, how great. What do you think about the multimodal exhibition type idea for Kendra? I think that's got a good vibe all over it.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I mean, I come from a performing arts background, so yeah, definitely like a site-specific, modal-led stimulus is a really good idea. Yeah.
Kendra, can I really advise that you get in touch with Paul? Paul is a legend, and Paul on Twitter, he's doing some incredible intellectual work. I have gained more inspiration and thought and connectivity from engaging with Paul in the last year than any other human being on planet Earth. He's a brilliant man, and it's rare for me to say this, he's ahead. He's ahead. So and also he's a really decent, ethical human being. So this might be a really good combination, a really good partnership that we've created this morning.
Incredibly kind, thank you. But yeah, sounds great, Kendra. I'd love to chat.
Incredibly true as well. And look, we should say hello to a woman who I love more than life. Gail is in. Gail Crimmins, hello, my darling. Oh, I'm so happy to see you, darling. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. I was just literally looking at Paul's Twitter account, so you might have another stalker there, yeah. Paul. So yeah, sorry I wasn't able to arrive earlier, but I'm juggling a few things at the same time. Lovely to be here. We'll absolutely support any conversation and engage where might be useful, and love the community that Tara brings together. Love being part of it. So thanks.
Well, Gail, we're reaching sort of the end of this first office hours. How exciting has this been? But Gail, the question I would ask you, and I've always wanted to ask you this question when we've never had time, and we may have you and Jamie in the conversation as well. But Gail, we've got colleagues that are moving through different stages of their life. You've got this incredible leadership role in your very, very large school, as well as trying to teach and do research and work with colleagues. The women in leadership piece, or the man in leadership, the non-binary identifying person in leadership in universities, while trying to teach and research, how are you managing that? Because you are better than just about anybody I know. Glasses off.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things, it's problematic. I'm going to talk about grit, and I know it's problematic. So I'm not leaving it unproblematized. No. But actually, it's just getting up every day and starting again. And it's really, really, and that is courage. That is courage. Getting up every day and starting again is what I think of as being courageous. That we fail. I was listening to your podcast earlier with Maeve about disappointment. I'm forever disappointed in myself. Maeve, my mother, is forever disappointed in me. So, we cannot please ourselves always, and we can never please other people. But if you hold on to that which you believe in, hold on to your beliefs, your values, and retain your integrity, you'll fall, you'll trip, you'll sidestep around, but it's getting up every day and trying again. And that for me is grit. And I know that that's problematic, because I'm not saying that we all need to be have to wear bulletproof vests, and we have to keep working within systems that actually dehumanize. But it is a case of just getting up and trying. And so for everybody on the call today, or in the meeting today, the very fact that you are here means that you are courageous, means that today you have started again, that you've got a vision, that you've got a plan, and you're moving towards it. So one day at a time, one breath at a time here.
Gail, you are an astonishing human being. Everyone's just gone bonkers. People are crying. People have started coffee. They've moved to vodka. It's unbelievable. But Gail, what you've captured there is the necessity to be hypersensate in the present. You've often heard me say the definition of politics is occupying your present well, because the past is gone, it's nostalgia, the future isn't promised, and there is courage in saying, today is all I have, this hour is all I have, and what is the best use of this hour? And if that's not leadership, Gail, I'm not sure what is.
Well, thank you. But I think that if that's the case, we all have that capacity. So yeah.
Oh, we do. And look, we'll finish off the conversation if we can. I've loved every second of this. So this is just what it will be. There's lots of things we could talk about. I'd love people to come with questions and we see how we go. But it's really making sure if you've got an issue or a problem or there's just a vibe you want to float, that this is the space for it. But Jamie, darling, do you want to just, I mean, I'm very emotional from Gail's commentary there. You're also having to manage a very, very complicated #understatement leadership protocol with research, with supervision. Obviously your wife is somewhere random at this point, so she's not offering as much support as she should be. She's a cow. But Jamie, how are you managing the complexity of your present? Were you inspired by what Gail said there?
Absolutely. Is my microphone working, by the way?
It is. You're Madonna voguing, yes.
Vogue. I'm like Gail has kind of hinted, we do the best we can with all of the expectations we have of ourselves and expectations put on us by others, and you've just got to make do. But from my point of view, I think it's about trying to focus on your emotional intelligence when you need it. Right. It is dreadful times. It's terrible times. I really hate being away from my wife. You know, she's 5,000 kilometers away and most of you are halfway between us.
Oh.
But you know, as much as I hate it, it's the situation that we find ourselves in and we've just got to make it work. It's sometimes challenging as the leader when most of my interactions with other people are them coming to me with their problems, and they're not remotely interested in anything of my problems or my circumstances, and they're just so focused on themselves. So yeah, I don't know if that helps or has answered the question necessarily, but
look, it does. And I think you finished our conversation beautifully, because you never know what another human being is going through. We all know that. You never know what another human being is going through. And, you know, every day we've got a choice. We've got a choice whether we go to anger or brittleness or brutality or rudeness, and we can choose care and decency and respect. We can choose silence while we're gathering more information rather than just responding quickly and with rage. And so I think what great leadership is, whether it exists from our brand new high degree students, Mary, who's just got through her COC, leadership exists when we are kind, when we are decent, when we demonstrate integrity, and we also put a hand out in friendship to others and help them up, rather than push people in the face down. And I think if we can all make a decision to do that today, because as Gail said, today is all we've got. If we can do that today, then tomorrow we can start again and the world might be a slightly better place when we do that. Colleagues, I am so excited that we're here. Thank you so much for your time. And Sandy, we didn't even have a chance to say hello to you, Sandy. I hope you're well. Do you want to say hi, Sandy?
It's okay. Hi, Tara, everyone. Thank you.
And Sandy, are you well?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. Actually, I'm sorry I'm late because I was driving on the way. So not just arrived in the office. It's very early morning here in Semarang in Indonesia. Yeah, so glad to, you know, meet you here virtually. Thank you. It's very
Selamat pagi, sir. Selamat pagi. Have a lovely day.
Oh, thank you, Tara. Selamat pagi.
And I'll tell you what, Sandy, you're the star of next week. We'll find out everything about you. That is fantastic. So, colleagues, thank you so much for your time. Some of you may be joining Maeve and I for which will be very intense in writing, and we'd love to see you. If you want to just get a punch, be with Mary and get 30 minutes of writing done with us, we'll see you in about 8 minutes. Go get a cup of coffee, have a bit of a scratch, have a bit of a stretch, and let's write together as a family. Colleagues, thank you for your time and see you next week. Blessings to you. Bye-bye.